Good morning on what is a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Thursday, the 21st of September. I've got a nice hot cup of tea and a box to continue unboxing. And what I have in here is this Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk. And this is the special edition. So it has this slightly embossed cover and these swirling sort of like tentacles and branches around the Dungeons and Dragons ampersand, which is a nice touch. So this is the latest campaign for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and it is notable because it returns to the original scenario for the game, The Lost Mines of Phandelver, which was the scenario in the starter set. And I actually really like that starter set. It presents the players with simple options in terms of what they can play, species and class, but then you can pick up the player's handbook and sort of like choose more options if you want. But the plot and the scenario is nice and simple. You know, travel to one location, have a encounter with some goblins, and then a mini dungeon as you rescue your friends, and then go to a town where there's got some problems, and you use that as a base of operations to go out and explore the wider region. And in some ways, I think it's still my favourite scenario of the ones I've read and enjoyed. Because of its simplicity and to some extent its brevity, because it's quite a short mini campaign. So we open up and we have welcome to Phandelver, introduction to the area, because of this campaign expands upon that campaign and the area. So we have adventure summary, Lost Mine of Phandelver. Start off with chapter 1 summary down there, and go through the different summary of the different chapters, all the way through to chapter 8. There you've got an image of the obelisk, the Shattered Obelisk in question, and guide to running the adventure, its location on the map. You can see there. This will be familiar to anyone who's done a lot of gaming in Forgotten Realms and certainly played through that starter set. We've got a description of the story tracker, options for non-deadly resolutions, description of Forgotten Realms, a guide to character creation, and adventure hooks for getting the player characters involved, and how to start the adventure, and warns that there is the possibility of character transformation. So it does say player consent is required before you use the character background rules and character transformation rules, and check with each player to determine if they're open to the character experience physical transformative effects. A player will not miss game benefits if they choose not to use these rules for their characters. Okay, well, that's fine. Now, let's be fair. If I was playing this campaign, I wouldn't need to give such permission. I don't have a problem because, it's a point of controversy, I think, for certain players who don't like this kind of warning. For whatever reason. But the point is that some players do, don't want to see their characters actually transformed in this manner. Okay, their character is inviolate. They don't want to see, their characters essentially mucked around with, and changed beyond what they envision, and that is fine. Okay, so the warning is for them, and if you're playing with a group of players like that, then the warning is appropriate. It just means, okay, that if I mean, all I'm saying is, if the warning is there, if you don't need the warning, fine. If you do need the warning, good. You know, it's there for your benefit. You know, it's there for the benefit of all players if they need it. Anyway, so controversy over. We'll get onto the book itself. Chapter 1, you've got the journey, a dangerous journey, and there you have sort of like the first sort of setup with the caravan that the player characters are guarding being attacked by goblins, and got sort of like classic cartography for taken from the corp that starter set, and then, you know, along with the artwork, and it's been basically, it's not old content, but it's been cleaned up, tidied up, streamlined, and so on to fit the new, essentially 10 years of development of Dungeons and Dragons and gaming. Hence, you have that earlier warning, and then we have the hideout where the player characters will experience their first dungeon. So on, and then once you've sorted that out, once you've gone to the dungeon, you go on to the town of Phandelver, and then you have a map of it. And the other thing is that this sort of does also tie in with the Dungeons and Dragons Adventurer magazine, because you've got an encounter, you know, in there. So if you've been collecting this one, you know, you'll look for somewhere to start. But on automatic, you know, you've got the player characters getting involved in events around the town, essentially being given job offers, investigating a location, dealing with some ruffians. So here we are at Red Brown's hideout. Go in there and you deal with some ruffians, but it gets worse because, hey, there are those. And even worse, and then here we have the villain of the piece at this stage, and this sort of like, this is the sort of like the second big adventure, and then we get into another wilderness location. And you have the first sign that there's a dragon haunting the area. It's a nice piece of artwork. Let's just really kind of give you sort of like a question of sort of like, you know, that I really do like that. That's a sort of like a nice sense of threat. You know, it draws your eye. You're going, okay, what are they running away from? And you look and you see the dragon looming over. So, and then we come to Wave Echo Cave, and this is really the finale of the original Lost Minds of Phandelver campaign, set in Wave Echo Cave. So it's sort of like a mini dungeon. After this, we begin to expand out essentially away from the original core campaign, as small as it was, but small and neat. And this is a campaign that really is designed to do something that a lot of the other campaigns for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, which is take the player characters from first level upwards. You know, this goes up to 12th level. A lot of the other campaigns sort of start at sort of like 3rd or 4th level. you've got to get a bit of a playing experience under your belt before you tackle them, and they're not always successful at that. So arguably this could be you know, your player character's first kind of starting campaign, because it builds on sort of like builds on sort of like from small things. So we get to the nature of the Shattered Obelisk itself, with a nice little piece of a bit of a treasure map and something looming ominously there. And some strange monsters out there which look like Modrons from the Outer Realms kind of setting. But you've definitely got tentacular beasts there. So I really like the artwork in here. It's really good. Layout, clean, tidy. If someone said, "Would you like to play this?" I definitely would. I think it'd be quite fun. And we've got some great locations, some sort of like great mini locations here. Lots of a diverse range of them. I think that's you know, it's not one big dungeon. It's lots of little areas worth visiting and exploring. And then we have the villain of the piece. And then now journeying into the deep, essentially into the underworld, encountering more and even stranger monsters, to Nook, essentially a mind flayer outpost, and we even have Slard as well. And also like the use of the mind flayers and the Slard, because they're kind of creepy. And sort of like they can get inside your head, and there's, you know, there's definitely something eldritch about them. So they're a good choice of villain as well. So some fascinating little maps to explore as we come to the end of the campaign. A briny maze which is noticeably brain-shaped, and even its walls are sort of like, you know, have the folds of matter like a brain, and there are things popping out. So lots of really nice sort of like dark campaign that grows and grows and sort of like, you know, doesn't reveal much at the start, but you know, draws the player characters in. I think and now you've actually got the broken obelisk itself. A bit of a page crease there, but otherwise, and you have a joyous celebration afterwards if the player characters are successful. notes there on Netherverse obelisks, and then we go into the bestiary. So we've got an aberrant zealot, ashen whites, encephalon clusters, psionics, ashen whites. That's on mind flayers, and tapes. And other classic monsters. Everything's self-contained in here. If you've got the player's handbook, you're pretty much sorted for this campaign, I think. So you've got goblin sonic brawlers and commanders, and then some magic items. Defined. Including mind crystals. And at the end, you've got a story tracker to keep track of events. And then at the end, you've got the map, which essentially is a replication of the earlier map. Where are we? There we go. So that is Phandelver and Beyond, the Shattered Obelisk, the latest campaign from Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Really like the look of this. Nicely thematic with an eldritch foe. Start off small and get interestingly big and dangerous. So yeah. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game which I will unbox, and a game or book, and in this case a campaign, which I will then chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.